Welcome back to CTN. We are very happy to be back after our break. I'm Savannah, reporting live from the Cambodia Television Network with my partner Charlene.
As you all know, our break is due to the unfortunate events of the Cambodian genocide. Today's newscast will bring you the inside scoop on the events that have occurred from 1975 to 1979.
This news may be very sensitive to some viewers, and viewer discretion is advised. Here we have today an expert on the genocide who is from the district Siem Reap in Cambodia. He has furthered his education to find out more information on the events that have happened. Welcome, Dr. Ouch. How did this all start?
Thank you for having me. It all started when the Khmer Rouge, led by evil dictator Pol Pot, won the Cambodian Civil War, I think, and took power. Pol Pot had a vision that he would make Cambodia into a federation of collective farms, where the population would be the workers.
This is such a big task. How could Pol Pot be able to achieve this?
Pol Pot abolished our civil rights, shut down the media, made foreigners lead the country, and sent anyone who thought was an enemy to prisons where they were tortured to death. Everything was shut down and no one had access to anything.
Who exactly were Pol Pot's enemies?
Pol Pot's enemies were anyone who were in opposition to the Khmer Rouge's ways. Intellectuals were especially targeted. Me, I'm smart. This included doctors, teachers, lawyers, and etc. A person could be killed for just being related to one of these people. Also, anyone who had to deal with the traditional aspects of Cambodia were killed. Pol Pot called this reform Year Zero.
You mentioned that enemies were sent to prisons. What were these prisons like?
I know they were horrific. I couldn't give you the major detail, but prisoners were tortured till they died a brutal death and were exposed to ailments and diseases. The most famous prison was the S-21, which was actually a former high school that was shut down when the Khmer Rouge's reign started.
Thank you for your time, Dr. Ouch. We really appreciate your information.
We have breaking news. One of our scene reporters is on location with one of the victims who experienced a miserable prison life. We will now head to reporter Esther.
I am here today with one of the victims, Vidhu. What were your hours like in prison?
Well, we worked from 4 a.m. to 10 p.m. and only had 2 breaks. We only got 1 day of rest after 10 days of working and got 3 days off during the Khmer New Year festival. We were also supervised by soldiers at all times and we beaten for breaking any of the rules of the camp.
What were your living conditions like? Did you have very much food?
At the end of the harvest, Khmer Rouge trucks came and confiscated all of our crops.
What were the consequences of breaking any of the rules of the camp?
We were given lashes with electric wire. We feared for our lives the whole time we were in prison. The Khmer guerrillas would torture people into giving false confessions and then would kill them for crimes they didn't commit. Sometimes they weren't even questions. They were just killed, all in an effort to purge the old society.
Thank you for speaking with us, Vidhu.
Thank you, Esther. Now we have some exclusive pictures of the devastation that occurred in the camps, explained to us by Dr. Ma, who is from the district Kampot in Cambodia. She has also furthered her education to find out more information on the events that have taken place. Welcome, Dr. Ma.
Thank you, Savannah. First, we have a picture of Pol Pot, who was born on May 19, 1928, and died in his sleep on April 15, 1998. He went to college in Paris, where he became involved in communist politics. After returning to Cambodia, he became a leader of the underground communist movement, known as the Khmer Rouge. In 1970, the United States ousted the current ruler of Cambodia, Prince Sihanouk, pictured here, who retaliated by joining forces with his former enemy, Pol Pot. Afterwards, the Khmer Rouge took power of Cambodia and Pol Pot came to power. He then evacuated all the cities and forced the people to farm. Pol Pot later opened the S-21 prison, also known as Tuol Sleng, where thousands of people were murdered and tortured. Here's a picture of the rules of Tuol Sleng. As you can see, they are very unrealistic and allowed for no room for people to make mistakes. These are pictures of some of the documented victims killed and tortured at S-21. As you can see, the Khmer guerrillas did not discriminate in age or gender amongst those they killed. This is a picture of one of the rooms that was used to extract false confessions from prisoners, after which they were often burned alive. Lastly is a picture of some of the skulls of the millions of victims of the Cambodian genocide.
Now we would like to welcome back Dr. Ma, who will explain how peace was made in the aftermath of these tragic events. How was peace finally made?
Thank you for having me. Well, this went on for 4 years, and peace was finally made when Vietnam invaded Kampuchea and overthrew the Khmer Rouge. An international relief effort was sent to Cambodia to help them get back on their feet. Though the genocide is over, it will take us a while to recover from this.
Do you know the approximate number of how many people died?
People say that about 2 million people perished from this terrible time.
Do you know what happened to Paul?
Well, as we know of now, he is hiding out. Most say he's hiding out in Thailand, and my guess is that man will die before we even can catch him.
Will there be a memorial built in the honor of the victims?
Yes, there will be. We are currently making the former S-21 prison into a historical site where people can visit and really see what went on inside the prisons.
Thank you, Dr. Ma. Once again, we have our senior reporter Esther with another victim.
Thank you, Charlene. I am here with another victim who is actually an S-21 prison survivor. Can you give us your opinion on the S-21 prison being made into a historical site?
I think it is a wonderful idea. I lost my whole family in that prison, and to have a memorial place for them is very comforting. The people around the world need to know the truth, what we went through in that prison of hell.
What was the Khmer Rouge like in the prisons?
The Khmer Rouge didn't discriminate. They thought all of us were worthless and disposable. They would always say to us, to spare you is no profit, to destroy you is no loss.
Did you ever think you would be standing here today?
No, not at all. The S-21 was the place where you go in and never come out.
We appreciate you talking with us. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Esther. We are so happy to be back, and we thank you for watching.
Thank you to all our victims and experts who spoke with us today. We will see you all next week.
From CNT, I'm Savannah, and this is Charlene signing off.